Now, let's take a quick detour to get something right. We've continually had the word variable come up during lessons. And now, we'll take the time to get some understanding of variables and what they are. So what are variables? They're like labels, they're like tags that we use to refer to something and store information or data about that thing. For example, a farmer with the following farm produce having tomatoes, mushrooms, cayenne, bell pepper, and onions. Now these are the values. Now if he wants to put this in a database or he wants to load this in R or any other statistical software, he needs to save these values in a container that will hold all of them, or that we at least refer to these objects. And that's what variables are. So variables are like bags, they're like labels to hold objects. Okay, now let's put this example into R. Now our farmer is having the following farm produce. He's having maize, he's having cayenne, bell pepper, onion, and mushroom. Now we've saved this, I've loaded this already, and I've run book. Now if I enter farm produce, I get this result. Of course, we've seen this multiple times. And this farm produce here, this is the variable name, and it's referring to the following objects or values, which are maize, cayenne, bell pepper, onion, mushroom, and so on. We can also decide to, maybe for example, store different weights of any of the farm produce. For example, we might have maize weights, given a harvested a lot of maize, and we say we have 3 grams, 10 grams, 30, 15, 9, and 10. And if we run this, we see that it's referring to the weight which we've stored here. So they hold values for us, and we can refer to those values using names, which are called variables. So now we'll move on. I'll move to environment. Environment gives us an understanding of the type of variables which we have. And we have the global environment, and we also have the local environment. Well, a good way to understand this is the example of a house in a building with multiple rooms. The whole rooms, or almost all the rooms, are accessible to the occupants of the house. Like the living room is accessible, the kitchen is accessible, the toilet is accessible, and if there's a playroom or any other public space within the house, it's accessible to occupants of the house. Now, those rooms are called the global environment, and that's because they are accessible to everybody, accessible to you, the occupant of the house. But now we have other rooms, which are the bedrooms, and bedrooms are only accessible to the occupants of the room. Of course, this is not in black families, this is not in a lot of African countries, because your parents can enter your room anytime. They own the house. That's it. Well, in Western civilization, in some Western countries, the room of the child is for the child. The child is the governor of that room. So for that space is only available to that child. And you see things like danger, stay out, keep out, knock before entering. But of course, as I said, this is not in African homes. I'll see you in the next lesson, where we'll get a better understanding of the global and the local variables.